Adam, get your hand off my leg, please. Thank you.
Oh, my God. Man, right out of the gates, Adam's already getting fresh over there.
Yep.
It's rough. Man, all right. Well, here we are. Another episode, Talking Winter with Swinter.
New week.
Well, as far as they know.
Yep. Different shirt.
Here it is.
I can prove.
Nice. Well, yeah, so here we are, Talking Winter with Swinter from Swinter Group headquarters here in St. Louis, Missouri, which is also where the SG Advantage software was born, developed, written, put out, systems, software, all that. Yeah. We are here to talk about snow because that's what we do for a living.
That is.
And most of the time, we like it.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Jason's a big fan of the white stuff.
There is some time in there when, you get cranking and it's a good day, and other times it can be kind of rough. And you know what? Sometimes the morning after, the snow walk of shame, if you will.
Yep.
Which can be rough.
It's like a regular walk of shame.
Hang on. Brent's looking at me like,
I'm trying to figure out which direction you're going with that.
You know what? I bet you've never made a walk of shame, have you?
Well,
I don't even know where we're going with this.
Well, a snow walk of shame is similar to the regular walk of shame.
No. Okay, so
your head's down, you're wearing the same clothes you had on the day before.
You're a little tired. You're maybe a little tired. Ashamed of what happened.
Right.
Sweet Brent has had his wonderful woman for like the last 50 years.
Well, we're talking about snow here, so I'm not sure what that.
We're talking about walk of shame.
Yeah, no walk of shame. I mean, so not everybody's had a walk of shame.
That's true.
I'm gonna put it in a solid. I'm going to say, you think it's half or is it less than half of the population has had a normal person walk of shame?
Ooh.
Not necessarily a snow walk of shame.
Let's say that's at least 48.5%.
I'm wondering if that's high.
I'm going to go with.
Okay, show of hands of the room. Who's had a walk of shame here? Okay, three out of five.
In the rain.
Okay, in the rain?
Oh,
that's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. So we're going to say in our sample group, more than 50%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? If if you've had a walk of shame, we'd love to hear about it. So, or maybe not.
Snow walk of shame.
Snow walk of shame. So, yep.
How do we hear about it?
You can hear about it. You can shoot us a text. Give us a call, 314-260-4352. You can email us at podcast@swintergroup.com. And we don't even really need to hear about your walk of shame. Really, any communication would be great. We like hearing from people.
Yeah.
But, the snow walk of shame, that's rough. Because the snow walk of shame is filled with emotion. It's filled with drama. It's filled with excuses. It's filled with, what ifs and if only I would have's.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also another part of that where you're texting other people or calling other people saying, should I have done that?
Correct.
Should I have done that differently?
Right. So, but no, man, I mean, so that's, the day after a snowstorm, right? It's so bizarre because like you're even on events that, man, you're like, I've absolutely nailed it. We've got this. It's great. It seems like those are the ones that we wind up getting the most complaints on or the most we have the most issues with, right?
Yeah. And
the ones like this one we had this last week, man. The next, we were supposed to get an inch and a half, maybe 2, wound up with 6.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for sure.
Surprise.
And pavements were not supposed to accumulate.
No, you guys weren't here. Take a guess how many total calls we got from customers. Now, to give some perspective, we service 200 and some. Does anybody know our exact property count?
It's a little over 212, 214, something like that.
Yeah, 220, 221, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Nicole, how many properties do we have?
You didn't get it.
Oh.
The movie quote. 220, 221, whatever it takes.
No.
Mr. Mom, nothing?
No.
God. Whatever. It's fine. Kids these days.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah,
6,
no.
That's my guess. 6
You're going 6?
6.
What do you think?
I would say, 5. Not 2. Including emergency services requests?
2. No, including emergency service requests.
Wow.
2.
Impressive.
Yeah. And one of them was not a big deal. It's just not a big deal. And then the other one was a problem.
Yeah, the other one was
a problem.
Was really unfortunate.
that wasn't a good one. But no, it was like, okay, this turned out pretty okay. So, but at the end of the day, you still have, so even though services wound up okay, we still had, equipment that wasn't where it was supposed to be. We still had people that, that missed other areas, that even though people didn't complain about it, we find it later.
Crews that were completely unprepared. We had people that were, that didn't pick up the right amount of material, that didn't use the right amount of material. It's like all of the things that come together at the end of a snowstorm, right? Trying to figure out what the hell happened. You find that, this curb line didn't get cleared. Well, because the walks crew just shoves the snow off of the sidewalk, but doesn't do the curb line. Yeah.
And so, so there's all of these things that you spend such an enormous amount of time training your crews and training your people to get these things put together. Yeah. So you don't have these problems, and God dang nabbit, they still show up.
Yeah. And honestly, for the most part, and maybe this is a complacency thing. I was thinking about this post-storm.
Can you spell complacency?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
COMPLAC, complacency, complacency.
I'm going to go with it.
Well, Nicole seemed to think it was right, and she would know.
Yeah.
So, okay, nice job.
So I don't know if it was complacency on the part of the more experienced crews, because we talked about in our previous episode to this one, models and historical trends. And when the weatherman says this, it's going to be that. If he says that, it's going to be this. And I think, because I thought about this a lot post-storm, was some of these more experienced crews, I think, got a little complacent. And they said, it's another one of those St. Louis Clippers. Nothing's going to happen. We'll go out, we'll throw some salt, and we'll be done. And by and large, with a couple of exceptions, but by and large, the things that we're talking about happen with some of our more experienced crews.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that there's the purpose of this episode that I want to kind of stay focused in on is all the things that have to get done when a storm's over.
Okay.
Right. And so I
thought we were talking about the stress of it.
Well, I think that's part of what we got through in the last one, but I think this one is when you get through with everything, different companies have got different ways that they do things. So sometimes we were in Chicago last week, talked with some guys from a really great company, man. These guys really care about what they do, and they really want to do good, and they do a lot of work with nationals. So they've got to run, was it 6 or 9 different apps?
Yes.
I think it was,
Can we give them a shout out?
Yeah, let's not.
Okay.
I don't know, because here's the reason why not. Is because the reason why we were up there talking about SG Advantage, and the issue that they have is they're tracking the work for nationals through the Nationals app, but they track all of their work on paper. And so part of the problem that they have is that they get to the end of a storm, and the nationals know, the nationals have data that was recorded in real time during the storm, that then these guys had some access to that, but not necessarily all of it. And they've got to go back and recreate the storm on their end, all on paper. And so as we got to talking to them, it was really interesting, because they've got, we're talking well over 100 pieces of equipment, and times 2 manpower on sidewalks, something like that.
Yeah.
It was, huge operation to try to track it all on paper. And we got to talking about how it's, they don't use any subs because they just don't think that they can. And so it's something where the stress after the storm is enormous, because in storm, you've got all the stress in storm, and then you get the storm over with, and all of a sudden, bam, now you've got all of this mountain of paperwork and garbage you got to try to dig out from. What are you doing? Okay. So we got it. All right. We've talked about whether or not we need to actually have a camera in here. Now we do. All right. So in the office here, Nicole and I, do it. Yeah. Nicole and I share an office. And so we set up the mics and stuff and do the recording in here. And one of the chairs that's in here that kind of floats around is what is that? It's a really nice chair.
It's super
It's
cushiony.
a really comfortable leather office
I think
chair.
it's like is it a Lazy Boy?
It's a Serta.
There's
It's
a
a
lazy
Serta?
boy sitting in it.
Okay, it's a Serta. It's a really nice chair. And well, anyway, but by my standards, really nice chair. So Jason will always show up to a meeting at least 3 to 5 minutes early, so he gets that chair.
Yep.
Well, today he comes in and sits down in one of the not so Serta-y chairs, and managed to. Oh, hi, Nicole's taking a picture. Great, there he goes. And so now he just got up to get the chair, and we were all laughing about that. Anyway, sorry. So post event can be a huge deal. Right. So I want to break that down, and I want to go into a couple things. One thing is, what did your crews actually do? So whether or not you're subcontracted or you have subcontractors or you're self-performing, trying to figure out what happened after the fact can be really tough. And so there's, so what we suggest is tracking all of that in real time, right? Yep. So if a crew is going to go plow a parking lot, you send a work order for plowing that parking lot. On that work order is tracked who was there, when did they show up, when did they leave, what kind of equipment were they using. All that is tracked on that work order. Same thing if you're going to de-ice, if they're going to do if they're going to do sidewalks, whatever it is, there's a work order for everything that's done. That work order is issued by your company. Right. So if you're the ones that send in the bill, you send that work order, and then your subcontractor can fill in the data. Your crews can fill in the data, whatever that might be. But what happens is if you track that all in real time during the event, and then when the storm's over, you have all of that data handy. It makes it very, very simple. Today, like when we finished up, we worked on Friday, and then we did refreeze on Saturday morning. No. Not Saturday morning, because we're finishing up Saturday morning. Did refreeze on Sunday morning. Did refreeze this morning. Temperatures aren't going to get below freezing for the next 2 weeks here, so we went and closed that storm out. I clicked one button, and 77 subcontractors instantaneously got a message with exactly what they did.
Yep.
And so it literally took me less than 10 seconds to send 75 subcontractors a complete accounting of every single thing they did during that pop-up event. No stress there, right? So same thing on the billing side. If you track it all real time, it makes it very easy. I can click one button and have a data sheet that shows me every single thing that happened.
Yep.
And so here we go.
Broken down by property,
by customer, by service, by whatever you want. SG Advantage. Shameless plug for SG Advantage. The system that we have. I mean, that's what it's there for. And so what that means is that now the morning after, our systems that we have in place enable us to close out that storm and move on to material restock for depots, material restock, for bag product, bulk product. We're washing equipment, we're putting things away, we're refueling machines. I mean, that the hassle of trying to figure out what the hell happened, we don't have to mess with that at all. Right. And so that's something where, if you're interested in that, that's a different number. If you're interested in that, the SG Advantage does have its own number. That's 314-474-9977. If you want to, know more about SG Advantage and how that can make your life easier, or SGAdvantage.com. Yeah, that too. But
is there an echo?
What? Echo. It's like reverb, but different.
Look at Jason. He's in this different chair now. It's like he's going to take a nap.
Oh, he's out.
Oh, I'm not out. It's way too bright in here.
Nice. Nicole!
It should be.
Lights. Anyway. So, all right. So you've got the stress of trying to figure what happened. The other thing that you've got is after post-storm, a big question that comes up is you get those quote unquote questions from your customers, right? Like there's no way you actually did all this, right? That's tough too.
Yeah.
Right. So that's something that's really hard is, where were you guys?
That's when they get the invoice.
Yeah. I don't think you were there. I don't think this happened. You got to prove it, blah, 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 blah. And so that's all part of the, post-event stress is, oh my God, are the customers going to pay for this?
Right.
Right. So So alleviating that, there are so many different things that people do with that. Like we've actually, another company we talked to in Chicago last week said that were they banks? Who was the customer? I don't want to say the name. It was was it gas stations?
Gas stations.
It was gas stations. There's a gas station chain that the gas station chain signed up for a snow removal software, and that requires GPS and requires photos. And the customer was making the vendor use that app. It's for proof of service, right? And so it was something where, when we asked, we're like, well, man, doesn't that kind of suck? I'm like, well, yeah, it sucks, And so that's something where, the more savvy the customers are getting, now they're making we pay for and use the apps that they want us to do, which may or may not even give an accurate representation of what happened. When it comes right down to it, we see a lot of these apps that have got, GPS on them, right? Well, here's the problem. So the GPS pings that you were there, but the GPS doesn't tell you, if you were there because it's on somebody's phone.
Right.
So it doesn't say if you're in a plow truck or if you're in a Geo Metro. Right. It doesn't know what you showed up with. It doesn't say how many people were there. It doesn't say what got done. It doesn't say, what services were completed. Right. It literally just says that this phone was on the property. That's it.
Yep.
And somehow that magically equates to, oh, okay, we'll pay the bill. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, does that seem crazy to you guys, or is that just me?
Oh, it's definitely crazy.
Yeah.
Adam doesn't have anything to say? No way.
I was, yeah.
You were thinking about something else. You were daydreaming, weren't you?
I wasn't daydreaming.
You were kind of looking at Jason a little funky. He was a little weird.
Oh, don't even. I couldn't even keep him off these nuts right here. Peanuts.
Yeah. The planters.
Bag of planters peanuts, yeah.
It's a little bag.
Peanuts aren't. Did you know that peanuts are not nuts? They're legumes.
What? Shut up.
It's worth a Google.
No, it's not. What the hell is a legume? Isn't that
a pea?
Brooke Shields farted once on the set of Blue Lagoon.
A pea?
Nothing. South Park movie.
What kind of laugh is
Nothing.
that?
Nothing.
A pea and a green bean, also legumes.
What the hell is a legume? Okay, yeah, because obviously you can spell.
Edamame is a legume.
Dude.
It's the first I've ever heard of that, whatever that
Hey,
is.
Edamame?
So I got a question for you. I got a question for you since we're talking about.
Whoa. Watch Nicole. When you get edamame, you follow it up with an order of guayosia. Sorry, go ahead. What
language are you speaking?
It's Italian, Japanese.
Office talk?
I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. Guayosia. No. Just go tell Elizabeth you want some guayosia. It's awesome.
I'm pretty sure that there's another pronunciation that's more correct, but I have no clue what it is.
It's really, really tasty. Would that be Japanese food? Who the hell is that? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Man, we got off topic. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So legumes. Legume.
It's a made up word.
Is this a spelling bee?
It's like tertiary.
Shut up. You guys, your tertiary bullshit. Where do we hear tertiary? Nicole, it was like somebody used that. What? TV show. Is it a TV show? Yeah, or movie. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it.
Legumes?
He was just saying nuts, but they're not nuts. They're legumes. So nice try.
D's.
Doesn't it say nuts?
No, it says peanuts.
All right, so you get a jar of mixed nuts.
Mm-hmm.
How many of the nuts are in fact legumes?
Well, it depends. Most nuts, to actually be a nut, it must grow on a tree. Or in the case of a pistachio, more like a bush kind of thing, but still considered a tree.
There's a nuts and bush joke in there. It's like, nope. This has got to be. We got to keep this rated finally okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. So mixed nuts might actually be legumes and bushy other things.
Only if there's peanuts in the jar of mixed nuts.
So peanut would be the only nut that's a legume.
Yeah.
How the hell are we talking about this, man?
I don't know.
You know why? Because we're trying to expand folks' vocabularies. Okay, so here's what's happened. Either people are still like, wow, this is kind of interesting. What the hell is happening? Or everybody has turned it off right now.
Considering they're snowplow guys, they've turned it off.
Yeah.
You know what? All right. If you're still listening, if you text legume to 314-260-4352. We'll send you a QT gift card. It might not have much money on it because if we get 500 of these things, we're only going to send like $1 gift card.
Yeah.
But if you're the only one that's still listening and you
If you're
text
the
us,
first
we'll
one,
send you something
if you're
cool.
the first one, I'll send you a dirty coffee mug.
Like, as in, like, it's got a funny little saying on it that's inappropriate, or like you just
no,
haven't
no.
washed
Because you
it.
didn't
No,
clean
like
it.
it's stained with coffee on the inside.
Don't send that as a gift. That's not okay.
This guy.
You know what I'm drinking out of? I'm drinking out of a Yeti whiskey tumbler.
I thought that says SG Advantage on it.
No, it says Fabic Caterpillar.
Yeti, that's the advantage.
Yeah. No.
Welcome back, Ken.
What? No, it's a Yeti mug. It's not.
That's
It's not. You know. Oh, you were making a software joke.
Wah, wah.
what's your button for failure?
Oh, we've got a failure button here. It's a. Nope, not that one. There it is. Yep.
There you go.
I missed it.
Trombones.
You failed at hitting the fail button.
I'm hearing it. There it is.
You know, you bring that up though. I don't want to name, certain other softwares per se, but I'm curious if there are people out there and they're still listening, if they're using a different software and they don't like it, or maybe it's paper, like you said. What kind of eventful stress issues do they have with it? What are the things causing them? They're like, man, I wish it did this, or I wish we could do this, or there's so many different variables.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let us know. I'm curious because I haven't used some of them, and not that I need to because SG is just like it does it all. But when people ask me, hey, what's the big difference? Sometimes I don't always know what to tell them because I haven't used those softwares because we have the best one on the market. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've spent, it's one of the things that we really like to do too, is we like to come to your town and talk to you and other people in your town about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And learn about that. I mean, it's something that we're going to be. Like what we got, we're heading to St. Joe, which is just just north of Kansas City.
Yeah.
South of Omaha. Heading there tomorrow, right?
Yep.
And then heading to Nebraska Thursday and Friday.
Yep.
And then then we got Iowa, and then we got back to Chicago. Yeah, we're going to be. Yeah, that's what we do, man. We want to go around and we want to meet with, contractors and talk to stuff. So we have, one, content for this show.
Yeah.
And two, we want to learn about, what do people need? And
and I think, to maybe get us back on track away
good
from
call. Yeah,
here we go.
away from my extended vocabulary is, post event can be, as we talked about at the very beginning, a little stressful.
why? What do you do that's so stressful, Jason?
Or it can be not so stressful if you can just hit one button to export or one button to close a storm and it instantaneously receive emails. But I think another important thing is if you have issues that you need to address with a crew, whether they be your internal crew or a subcontractor crew or whatever the case may be, post-storm is definitely the time to do that.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. So I think what you're talking about is keeping cool heads in storm.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, man. 100%.
And it's really, really difficult.
It is really hard.
At hour 26 or
Yep.
28 to keep a cool head.
Well, and something too, that if you're, if you are a subcontractor, or if you're a crew member or something, if you're not on the management team, if you will, and everybody's a little bit different, but for at least for us, our management team, we're running and gunning in the hours beforehand, right?
Yep.
Trying to make sure that the plan is in place so that everybody on the team knows where to go and knows what to do. So that takes time. So all the folks that are about to get direction that currently aren't, maybe they're at work, maybe they're not, but they're, that preparation happens. And then they show up and they do the work. And then when they go home, the management team is still working. They're putting the pieces together. They're making the notes on, what happened, filling in the dots, putting things together. By the time the management team gets to go to bed, a lot of times that's when the crews have been to bed, taken a nap, and then they've woken up. Now they want to call and chit chat and hang out. It's like, son of a God damn it. I just want to go to sleep, dude.
Yeah.
Like I just want to see the inside of my eyeballs. Everybody else has had a chance to get a nap. at that point. And so now you're doing that. And that's part of that next morning stress is that, everybody else has had a solid night's sleep and now they want to know what's going on. And it's hard on you if you're trying to run that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. What are some other things that happen day after that are problematic for you guys? I mean, I know you guys got it easy because I do all the work around here, but
True. I don't know what you guys
start
are doing.
acting
I'm
like him.
just out there grinding.
say what?
Just out there grinding. I don't know what you guys are doing.
So I mean, I some of the things that that I think you got to come up with. We kind of talked about getting those pop-up calls from customers that you weren't expecting, right? That are an issue. I think that some of the other things that happen too is that there's a lot of if you have subcontractors and you don't have a good means of tracking the work, sometimes you get the subcontractor calls that they want to know when they're getting paid, like right now, right? Or the things that are really anything that wasn't addressed before or in the storm becomes problematic the next day, and it could be sometimes those are big issues, sometimes they're small. They had machine. That's when you start finding out, oh well, this machine broke at hour 2. And so we had to finish it with that machine that you didn't even know was out,
right?
Or you had what are some other things that happened this morning? So we had guys that just decided not to use any ice melt on the sidewalk. They just drove the truck up along the curb line, and slung salt out. Like those, you start finding those things out. You get these little, a picture shows up from a customer of a spot that was missed or things like that happen afterwards that are sometimes very, very frustrating.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you alluded to it before with the number of customers we have. Our percentage of those types of things happening is minuscule. I mean,
that's
it is
true.
1% or less.
And the good thing about that, because it's minuscule, you can focus more efforts, like right on it, get it
right.
done.
No,
you're
that's
not,
exactly
you're not spread
right.
so thin after the fact. You're already stressed out. Now you're stressed out trying to figure out how to solve the problem because you have so many.
Can either of you guys spell minuscule?
Yes, of course.
You know how I would spell it?
How?
Tiny.
Yeah.
Well done.
See? Yep.
Well done.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that keeping a cool head amongst that's a good thing to deal with. That's something that I fall short on. I tend to be way more pissed off after the storm than in storm. I think in storm for me, I generally do at least a decent job to the outside world of keeping my act together. You guys get to see me blow up a little bit, but generally I'm pretty okay.
And I will say that as in my first winter actually running a storm, actually I shouldn't say running, managing a storm, it has taken me, we just had event 10, and it has taken me 8.5, 9 events to really figure out that I don't have to stress about everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There are people whose job it is to take care of those things. Now, if you back off that too much,
it's a problem.
It's a problem.
Right. Crickets. Anything else? I mean, you gonna.
No, I was just saying your ability to maintain your composure during the storm is from years of being able to step back from it and say, I don't have to dig into every single work order.
Yeah, but boy,
the small stuff.
Boy, the day after though, man, I can get excitable fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when the storm's over, and I'm no longer trying to. Keep a positive, hey, here we are. And now I'm in problem solving mode.
Right.
And things that just to me seem stupid.
Well,
I just get pissed.
You're doing things you're not supposed to be doing. Right. You've hired somebody to do that. You've hired somebody to manage that. And you're often fixing things.
And I think go ahead.
You shouldn't have to.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think the fact that you're so proactive and the communication is there that you don't expect those issues. It's going to take its course. Everything's going through. And you have very minimal, so.
And there's something. So for companies that are just starting to use subcontractors, or for companies that are just starting to do subcontract work, either one, listen up here. You can't expect your subcontractors to do things exactly the way you would do them. Similarly, as subcontractors, you can't expect the company that you're doing work for to understand why you do things the way you do them. Everybody has their own sets of motivations. At the end of the day, what you have to look at is the outcome, and you have to look at the timing. That's what matters. So, on the last episode we talked about, hey, drop your plows on your properties, and if you need them, they're there. Okay, that's a great way of doing it, but that doesn't work for everybody. Whether you drop the plow on the property or you keep it at your mom's house who's close to town, or you the company that you're doing work with, you ask them if you could keep it at their material depot, or whatever it is, whatever methodology you use to solve the problem is less important than your ability to solve the damn problem in a very speedy method in the moment. I think that's the big difference, is when you get to the day after the storm. Now you start analyzing what happened, and you got to have those conversations with people. Hey, why did it take you 7 hours to start plowing? Oh, I didn't think it was going to snow. I didn't have my equipment, blah, 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 whatever it is. Okay, that's when you start getting pissed off, because in the moment during the storm, you just solve the damn problem. Then after the storm, that's when you start following up and saying, hey, what, explain to me what happened there. And that's when you start getting really pissed when people made bad decisions slowly. I think that can make it tough too. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Anything else on post-event blues, post-event stress?
I don't think so.
You know what we're going to talk about on the next one?
What's that?
To restock or not to restock depots in the late winter season.
That's a good idea.
Boy.
But you know what we're going to do?
It's a good idea.
Right now, we're going to sign off.
Bye.
Yep. We'll see you next week.
Yep, that's it. So here we are. Hopefully you guys stuck in for that one, even though we're talking about some weird ass kind of nut thing. The hell was that?
It's Jason for you.
A legume. It's not a word. Whatever. Anyway, here we are. Hey, thanks for listening. I'm Ken Bogeman, Jason, Adam, and Brent, all here. Really appreciate you listening. If you could, shoot us a message, 314-260-4352. Really love to hear from you. Just, if nothing else, just text, say hi. That's all I got to hear. Anyway.
Get that QT card.
That's it. Love y'all. See ya. Ciao.